Invoices list the products and the quantity shipped along with the price. That's called the invoice. Purchase order is submitted to suppliers showing the items ordered. Specification describes the product you want to buy, exactly what you want. 12-15 shrimp, 15-18 shrimp, bone-in, etc. Par stock means the maximum you'll keep in stock. When you order, you bring your quantity on hand up to the par levels. Par is based on your usage of that product, the frequency of deliveries, and the storage space available. As purchased is AP, means with the fat, the bones added, water included, whatever, how you got it, is called as purchased. EP is edible portion, also called servable portion. That's what you have left to put on the plate after you trim and the cooking loss. So which one do you care about, AP or EP? You care about EP because they can, particularly something like ham, they can load that sucker up with water. Well, guess what? When you cook it, that all comes out. So you know you start with a big ham, big roast, and it ends up to be a small one, and that would be the loss between the AP and EP. So you care about what the edible portion cost is. Quickest way to go out of business is to assume your salesperson is your trusted friend. Off the job, yes. On the job, what can you do to keep everybody honest? Get bids from 3 suppliers when possible. No matter how long you use the company or how many years you've known the salesperson, find to be nice to them, you're a good buddy, but you need to make sure that they're not messing with you. So you do that by getting 3 bids and always keep them honest. That's best for them as well. Certified Angus beef. The products are evaluated under the most rigid standards for superior color, texture, and marbling. In fact, less than 8% of beef meets the brand's strictest quality specifications. The secret to the brand's taste is marbling, the small white flecks found inside the lean meat. Certified Angus beef product specifications demand a higher degree of marbling, which increases the beef's juiciness and flavor. The higher degree of marbling does not increase cholesterol and only slightly increases saturated fat. So that's for certified Angus beef. When you see Angus, Burger King and others have it, that means that the cow was related at some point 10 generations ago or whatever to an Angus cow. So it's not the same. American Angus definitions are not the same as the certified Angus beef. Pork is not graded with USDA quality grades, as it is generally produced from young animals that have been bred and fed to produce more uniformly tender meat. For the best flavor and tenderness, meat should have a small amount of marbling. Pork's consistency makes it suitable for a variety of cooking styles. Chops, ribs, and tenderloins can all be cooked differently. There are 5 grades for lamb, but normally only 2 grades are found at the retail level. That would be prime and choice. Lamb is from animals less than 1 year old. Since the quality of lamb varies according to the age of the animal, it's best to buy lamb that has been USDA graded. Prime grade is very high in tenderness, juiciness, and flavor. Its marbling enhances both the flavor and the juiciness. Choice grade has slightly less marbling than prime, but still is of very high quality. Veal is meat from a calf or young beef animal, raised until about 16 to 18 weeks old, weighing up to 450 pounds. Veal grades include prime, choice, standard, and good. It's a cute little cow. The drained weight of canned vegetables is 60 to 65% of the original weight of the can. In other words, a 10-pound can should have 60 to 65% of green beans in the can. Why do you care about that? Well, you're paying for the whole can, including the liquid, but you can only serve the actual vegetables in there. So it's important to check, do some comparisons by dumping the cans out and seeing if they're both equal. The advantages of using convenience items in a restaurant business instead of making it yourself are: the quality of the product might be higher, might be lower. Could be higher in the convenience items. Labor can be reduced, but that's only if you drop the people of the hour. So if you bring in convenience items and you don't get rid of anybody or any hours, then you didn't, in fact, save anything. Purchasing and inventory are, of course, easier for convenience than all of the ingredients. So there are some times that it makes sense, even in a scratch operation, to get the convenience foods. I always loved the Stouffer's vegetable lasagna. I always thought my fantastic chef couldn't really make it any better than that, so we purchased that one, convenience. When receiving products, the receiving clerk should look for damage to the shipping containers, the boxes. Make sure the delivery trucks are clean, refrigerated if they're supposed to be, frozen if they're supposed to be. Make sure the product is free of damage, dirt, bugs, etc. Correct the stock number, size, or make sure it has the correct stock number, size, and amount, and is within the expiration date. Put refrigerated or frozen items away immediately. Never let the driver place items in your storeroom for quality and theft reasons. Also, they may give you food rejected by a prior stop if you're not looking. LIFO is last in, first out. We don't use that in the food business too much. You would use it for something like gold, where you want to sell at today's prices, not last month's prices. Some of the military services use that for bread. Somebody, Navy or somebody does. So they use, doesn't make any sense to me, but they use the most fresh bread first. Used for precious metals, where you want to sell at today's cost, not an earlier lower cost. FIFO is what we mostly use. That means the first item that came in is the first item to go out. Use the oldest item in your inventory first. Then a perpetual inventory means you always know how much product you have on hand. A requisition is used each time an item is taken from the storeroom. Used for high-cost items like lobster tail or liquor. If you're having theft problems, you clamp down and take control by checking everything going out. If you're in a place like a Hard Rock, you would perpetually inventory t-shirts, otherwise everybody's grandma's getting one for Christmas. So high-cost items and highly thievable items, also things that are going to take you a long time to replace, so you want to always know how much you have. Inventory shrinkage. Missing inventory. While you're taking inventory, you note that you should have 320 pounds of ground pork, but you only have 290. The difference is shrinkage. Your inventory shrinkage was what? 9%. So first you're going to figure out how many pounds did you lose. That's 320 pounds you started with, where you should have, and you have only 290, so that's 30. Then anytime, give you a little trick here, anytime you want to get a percentage, you take the little number and divide that by the big number. So the little number being 30 was our pounds of shrinkage, divided by the big number, 320 pounds you started with, means you have 9% shrinkage, or you lost 9% of your product. Would you care about, because why? You need to track this to see if you have a theft problem, over issues, or poor record keeping. Inventory turnover. Let's put it into the simplest of terms. So the question is, how many times did you have to turn over the food that you had in your storeroom, freezer, refrigerator? So let's say you had, every week you do an inventory, and every week you had $10 worth of ground beef. And at the end of the month you add up your usage. How much did you use? And you used $40 worth. So the question is, how many times did you have to buy $10 worth, your average inventory, in order to have used $40 worth? So 40 divided by 10 would be 4. So your inventory turnover would be 4 in that case. So the turnover ratio is the food used divided by the average inventory. The average inventory is beginning inventory plus ending inventory divided by 2. So if at the beginning of the month you had $80 and at the end of the month you had $40, your average inventory would be $60. Okay, we're cool so far? So the food used divided by your average inventory. What was your inventory turnover if food used was $8,000? How do you get food used? Beginning inventory plus purchases minus the ending inventory equals $18,000. Cost of food used. So again, we're looking for how much food did we use. So the beginning inventory was $5,000. We bought $21,000 worth. We had an ending inventory of $8,000. So 5,000 plus 21,000 is 26,000 if we didn't use any, but we did. So 26,000 minus 8,000 that we still have in the refrigerator equals 18,000 is our cost of food used. So the food used was $18,000. Beginning inventory was 5,000 and the ending inventory was 8,000. Add 5,000 plus 8,000 is 13,000 divided by 2. How do you get the average of two numbers? You add them up and divide by 2. So 13,000, 5,000 plus 8,000 divided by 2 equals 6,500 is your average inventory. So 18,000 divided by 6,500, 18,000 is the amount of food that you used, divided by 6,500 was your average inventory, equals a 2.8 turnover, which would be good. Usually about 3 is good. So 3 times a month you're turning over the total value of your inventory.